assets worth $6.3 trillion. These are assets that belong to their clients, mainly the pension funds of ordinary people, teachers, police officers, nurses, and many more. And that's just the beginning. Blackrock has also developed a software platform called Aladdin to perform risk analysis for its clients. It receives sensitive data from banks, insurance companies, and other important institutions. Through Aladdin, Blackrock has insights about the management of financial assets worth another $20 trillion. BlackRock also has shares and voting rights in many of the biggest European companies, in sectors such as energy, oil and gas, transportation, food, and of course, finance. The company holds public debt in the form of bonds and has real estate interests. And still, there's more. Our Rock, you see, wears many hats. Aside from being an investor, it is also an auditor and an advisor. Governments and central banks invite a BlackRock subsidiary called BlackRock Solutions to audit them and to provide advice about the management and rescue of banks. Yet at the same time, BlackRock is often a major shareholder in these same banks. In other words, the company often sits on both sides of the table. BlackRock Solutions gets privileged access to highly sensitive information that could be valuable to BlackRock itself. Does this constitute a conflict of interest? No, says BlackRock, which claims that the company has established Chinese walls between its different subsidiaries. In January 2018, BlackRock's founder and chairman, Larry Fink, sent a letter to all of the CEOs of the companies BlackRock is invested in, asking them to do more than deliver financial performance and make a positive contribution to society. So BlackRock not
What I do usually is I look at the price last, and it's always interesting to me to see like what things are changing and whatnot. So this was yesterday, I believe. Let me refresh it. Yesterday, Bitcoin was 43.8. How do we do today? Roughly the same thing. Boring. So if we take a look at the stats, the market cap's still above 2 trillion. So that's good. I mean, that's great. But in all honesty, quite boring for the crypto market. And it is kind of a snooze fest. But sometimes when things are just a little bit choppy, it allows people that are trying to accumulate in the background to have a pretty good time because they just need said time to accumulate. And just hopefully as time goes on, the price goes up. And then not a financial advice, financial opinion, but usually it does. So Bitcoin's up 2.6% in 24 hours. Great. Ethereum is 3,100. Any big winners? Holy smokes. So Cardano's up 10%. That's something. 40% for a week. Not too shabby. Solana is up 16%, 5%. Terra's down. Terra, too bad. But I mean, it was on a huge run for quite a long time. Dogecoin. Congratulations, Dogecoin holders. Still in the top 20. Don't know why. Whatever. Let's see. Kronos. Oh, that's crypto.com. So on 3.795. Anything really big? Hey, 23%. Axie Infinity, 32%. We're going to talk about them at the very end. So good for Axie Infinity holders. Kind of an inflationary asset, but it seems to be doing a lot of good globally, especially if you are on the scholarship process when you bring things out. How's ApeCoin doing? That's the big question. Just kidding. 60% up for the week, 2.3 for the day. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. I know people will say, oh, you're going to miss out. Trust me, I've missed out on many things, and that's going to be one of them. So that's what we have right now. Let's take a look at today's top story. So this one comes to us, BlackRock. And if you don't know BlackRock, they have 10 trillion assets under management. Let me say that again, 10 trillion. They're pretty huge. And when I see these enormous entities come out and go, you know what? Crypto might be a good thing. But what they talk about here as far as acceleration, I get what they're saying. And I understand what the CEO Fink talks about, Larry Fink, and why crypto could be big now. But this is the story. Russia-Ukraine crisis could accelerate digital currencies. Here's what we got. So in a letter to the shareholders, this was all shareholders of the world's largest asset manager, Larry Fink said that the war will push countries to reassess currency dependencies, and that BlackRock was studying digital currencies and stablecoins due to increased client interest. Let me go back real quick. So when Fink is talking about client interest and everything else, don't be fooled, okay? They were going to get into this a long time ago. They knew they were going to get into it. They were going to study it just like everybody else, just like the Ray Dalios who came out when the largest hedge funds in the entire world said, first of all, Ray said, crypto's not great. Bitcoin's not good. Then I bought a little Bitcoin. Now we're studying Bitcoin and crypto. Now we're dabbling into it. And before you know it, it'll be like Mr. Wonderful and where he says, yeah, now I got 20% of my entire portfolio into crypto. It's just like a natural progression, and Think's no different. So I'm going to take you back a little bit of history. July 14th, 2021, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says there's very little demand for crypto lately. And he just goes on to say that, and we're going to take a look at a nice little piece right here that went in Squawk Box where he explains himself, which does make a lot of sense. But again, it's the same progression that we see time and time again with these billion and trillion dollar asset under management institutions. The same thing happens. So if you're wondering, like, am I in a good place? I think you are. I think you're in the right place at the right time. Just an opinion. So to move on into this article here, he states a global digital payment system, thoughtfully designed, can enhance the settlement of international transactions while reducing the risk of money laundering and corruption. So I'm hoping Senator Warren takes note when Larry Fink is talking. I don't know if she does. I don't think she's really big with bankers, but that would be a good thing, I think, to reduce the risk of money laundering and corruption. Even though people in the United States, in Congress, they will say, "Oh, it's the worst place." Well, if I was an illegal entity, something like the cartels, or maybe like somebody who would engage in illicit activity, I don't think I want to put it on a public ledger. That's just me. And to finish up, he says, over the past few weeks, I've spoken to countless stakeholders, including our clients and employees, who are all looking to understand what could be done to prevent capital from being deployed to Russia. We believe this is the definition of fiduciary duty. And he talks about how crypto, digital currencies, and stablecoins could be one of those ways. So that is the first part to it. And again, I think it's the same thing, the same rabbit hole that a lot of these different places go down. Here's what really got to me when he's talking about this just less than a year ago as far as crypto and digital assets. So I'm going to have you take a listen to what he says here. And I think I kind of see where things are going, and I think the writing is kind of on the wall. Let me stop the screen real quick. Let me share my tab so you can actually hear it. Ba, ba, ba. And let me mute myself, which would probably
broader than what we've seen with Robinhood and other areas. Is that still the case? What portion of the American public you think is actively involved at this point in making sure they're putting more money aside?
Well, as I said in the past, I'm very excited about seeing how investors are focusing on even meme stocks and other things like that, as you said, Robinhood. I believe if we could improve financial literacy, as we could help more people focus on not just the speculating of markets and the ups and downs, but translating that into investing in the long run. The issue about retirement that Joe talked about may be less of a problem for the next generation, the young people who are now focused on things like the equity markets. Yeah. So this is one of the things that I look at this. I look at this as a possibly good first step. Now, if they remain to be speculating on a few stocks and that's all it is, then that's all it is. I will say again, though, what happens on those shares, those types of trading activities, is totally unrelated to our mission at Blackrock. I don't have any conversation with any investors about what is happening there. The long-term investors are looking to how to build long-term returns over a long period of time. And we don't have those conversations. I think in the past, you've asked me about crypto and Bitcoin. Again, in my last 2 weeks of business travel, not one question been asked about that. That is just not part of the focus on retirement and long-term investors. And we see very little in terms of investor demand on those types of things. But quite frankly, they may not come to BlackRock for that type of demand. But I would say for all the pension funds and the insurance companies, for all the RIAs that we're talking to for their clients on behalf of their retirement, the dialogue is about how should I navigate my portfolio and how should I think about my portfolio over a long horizon.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some people will, let me back up. Some people will take a look at Larry Fink and be like, this guy's evil because he, runs this 10 trillion asset under management institution. And he's the epitome of everything bad. He's not anything bad. He's just inert. What he really is a person that is trying to do the best thing for his business, and that's about it. So when he talks about like, we're not going to get into crypto, again, this was less than a year ago. We're not going to get into crypto because it is a speculative asset. And really what has to happen is there has to be a little bit more of a longer road to go. Rails have to be laid. A little bit of regulation probably would go a long way. So when he says these things, I'm like, yeah, I can get it. And then you know, and I know that there's a lot of speculation here in crypto and digital assets. So when we start talking about like, well, everybody should have it and everybody should do this thing, I don't think so. I think it has to go through a longer journey, and there is like a longer, different timeline for most people. So when he talks about that, there is some investment as far as like the long term, people to think long term, and a little bit more of financial literacy. I kind of get what he's saying because I see the craziness that is in crypto, and I've been here since 2017. Some of you have been here longer, some of you have been here shorter. It is a wild, different, radical place, and a lot of the times when people are talking about getting into like the long term, it just goes out the window. They're like, make me a Dogecoin millionaire. I don't think that's how it works. It doesn't work for me anyhow. But let me know what you think about that in the comments section. It's just one of those things where I can see like, okay, that makes sense. He doesn't like the whole speculation aspect. Now there's some things that are going on globally in the macro environment, which would make it an accelerant. Now they'll probably get into it. I like where things are going. Right place, right time. Let's move on. So that leads me to my next point. Play to earn gaming. And I know this isn't like a big hot topic on my channel. I mean, my channel is not based on play to earn gaming. If you want to learn about play to earn gaming and great stuff like that, go over to Crypto Stash and those guys. Those guys are like geniuses at it. Actually, there's a link in the description for his channel. But I see it like this. All the different things we're going to talk about as far as these games and things are going to be, maybe you don't have to invest in said game or said project. Maybe you just take a look at the underlying project that is being built on and just go that route. There's an option, just an opinion. Anyhow, this is what's happening here. So PUBG developer teams up with Solana Labs to launch play to earn crypto games. First of all, Krafton, that's Cheng Beng-yu. I think I nailed it. Founder and chairman of online game company Krafton. Krafton, the South Korean gaming giant founded by billionaire Cheng Beng-yu, is expanding its crypto empire by partnering with blockchain startup Solana Labs to develop play-to-earn crypto games. So what they're talking about here is the company behind the popular PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Does anybody know what that is? I didn't. I had to look it up. So this is PUBG, Battlegrounds. Apparently super popular. I am not a gamer. I'm just an investor. I don't really care about games that much. I mean, I play like the old stuff. My job is to find where the hockey puck is going, not where the hockey puck is now. So when I see something like this, I'm like, oh, okay, this looks pretty interesting. Battlegrounds, a lot of people are playing. A lot of people are spending a little bit of money. Okay, I like that. And then there's this PUBG universe. Looks like they got things fleshed out. And it's a working product right now. What's going on over here? So, company behind PUBG, video game announced on Wednesday, yesterday, it had signed a business agreement with Solana Labs to make blockchain games that allow players to earn NFT tokens. And of course, this is Solana Labs, is the company that developed the Solana blockchain and risen the challenge to dominance of Ethereum as more and more developers are adapting it for DeFi projects on top of also play to earn gaming. And of course, this is also being pushed by that guy named Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of FTX. So when I see stuff like this, I'm like, that's pretty great. I can get into that. Again, I'm not a gamer, but if I look at the things that are being built on it, I'm like, I don't know anything about that, but that looks pretty good. So maybe I might take a little harder look at Solana, just an opinion. Or for Ethereum, there's for as far as like total value locked up in DeFi, it's like over $100 billion. Maybe I should look into that. And then also, you want to take a look at other studios that are getting into gaming. There's another one called Polygon Studios. And they do stuff like over here. They're selling a hotbed of digital culture. Really what they're trying to do is take games that are already out there in the wild and going, hey, are you free to play? I think you might want to look at play to earn, and we're going to help you transfer that over. That's exactly what happened with Elemental Knights and Gensukishi. And that's going out pretty swimmingly. So again, when I start talking about all these different projects, I think people just tune out. You can do deep dives into the games themselves and the actual tokens. Like for Gensukishi, I talked about this on Digital Asset News Clips, where we go over like the advancements of things. And we talked about the token that is their meta. And then also they have the round token that you can just bypass it all and just go, you know what? I don't know anything about that, but maybe Polygon might be something to look at. Just a little opinion. Maybe Ethereum and maybe Solana. So that's what we have for that story. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And then lastly, we'll finish up with corrections and my screw ups. That's always good. So real quick, yesterday I had made an offhand comment about how I think that it'll be great when finally there'll be some, not just play to earn gaming that's on PC or Mac, but when you can actually play that on your Android device or your Apple phone. And I didn't think there was anything out there, but people corrected me like you do, which is good. I mean, that's great. That's what we're here for. So they said, hey, Rob, there's Axie Infinity. You can already play it mobile. I was like, really? Tell me more. So I just did a quick search, and it is right out there. Axie Infinity mobile download, how to play Axie on Android and iOS. I didn't know this. This is pretty good. Is Axie Infinity available to play on mobile? Yes, it's available to play. Here's how you do it. How to download Axie Infinity. While unavailable via the Google Play Store, so you can't just go to the Google Play or the Apple App Store because they don't have it there for the game. But you can make your way over to official Axie Infinity sites. I'll link that in the description. You can click the Play Now button. This will bring up several different versions of Axie. Select the Android version, and your game should start downloading. Once installed, you need the link to your MetaMask wallet, and you can start using Axie Infinity, and you can play that on your phone. And there's like a couple more that have actually crossed over into the mobile device area. So that's good. Things are moving so fast, even I didn't know about that. So fantastic. So that was the first screw up I had. The second screw up was this one. We were talking about, well, that wasn't really a screw up, but we were talking about capital gains tax, everybody's favorite, which I'm going to get slaughtered on that this year, but whatever. So I was talking about, I could have sworn I said Netherlands or Denmark was 0%. And someone said, no, it's, or no, I said it was high. And someone, no, it's 0%. I'm like, oh, okay. So Denmark has the highest top capital gains tax of all countries at a rate of 42%. Finland and France, I think I said 30, it was actually 34. And then here's all the capital gains tax. You guys really got it tough in the EU, except for Belgium. You lucky sons of guns. You got 0%. Austria 27, Czech Republic 0. If anyone wants to move there, no. Denmark, it says 42%, and I think I said did I say Netherlands? Netherlands, I said was high, and it is high. Someone said it was 0, but I'm looking at here, and this is from data from as of April 2021, 31%. Maybe I was talking about something else, but that's someone corrected me and said it wasn't 54%. It was lower than that. So yeah. All right. Anyhow, Spain's 26, Sweden 30%, Switzerland 0, Turkey 0. Ugh. But Turkey, you got to move there with their lira fiat going crazy out of control inflation. No, thank you. I can see why. So those are the two screw ups. And that will conclude today's news story. So if you want to stick around for the Q&A, we're going to do 5 questions, 5 minutes. Always entertaining. Always entertaining. A lot of good stuff. But if not, if you got to take up, it's okay. Hit the like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Seems like if you hit the like, for some reason, YouTube pushes the video out more. Go figure. Algorithms. And that's it for today. So thanks so much for stopping by. Let's jump into 5 questions in 5 minutes and go from there. Let's see. Okay. You said 30% and it was the Netherlands. So I guess, yeah, someone said the Netherlands was 0%. And now I'm looking over here and it's different. But anyhow, doesn't matter. You got to pay a lot of money. All right. So thank you. Slovenia is beautiful. I've heard that from many people. Czech Republic is beautiful. It's my homework. Great. Whatever. Seoul won't recover. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not here to predict. I'm not here to predict prices anymore. It's dumb. Who knows where things are going? I can give you a price prediction, get super lucky, and then, I'm the genius out there, but as time goes on, price predictions usually don't make it. And then Oscar must be a gamer. Says PUBG was crazy popular. Probably the biggest title for years. Who'd have knew? Who'd have thunk it? PUBG. I don't know what you call it. That's all I call it. Makes it easier for me. So this is a good question. This is the first one. Zach says, I know you're not an ape, just got in crypto in January. Could it be a Shibu opportunity for someone who hasn't amassed much yet? And let me get this out of here. I don't need this. So the answer is yes, it could be a great opportunity. The thing is that, and Guy over at CoinBureau did a pretty good job about, the utility and what it's going to be. It could be massive, great utility. They already have a DAO. That was the whole thing of why they put this out. And it could be fantastic, and it could lead to like great metaverse plays and so on and so forth. But really, it comes down to it's risky. It's very risky because you never know when the rug is going to be pulled. I mean, a lot of people got airdropped a lot of tokens that weren't you. If you owned a Bored Ape Yacht Club or you owned a Mutant Yacht Club, whatever those things were called, then you got a lot of tokens, more so the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And they dumped initially on people. But just know that those tokens, there was no vesting period. They got a bunch of tokens just for holding NFT, and they have a ton of ape, and they can dump on you at any time. Could you make a lot of money? Sure. It's very, very risky. It's the same risk that you dealt with Dogecoin and what happened down there. I know a lot of people who put a lot of money into Doge, and then the night that Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live, it went from like 67 cents down to like 30. It dropped like 50% in like 24 or 48 hours. A lot of people lost a lot of money. That's all. Yeah, someone says it's a good buying ape is just giving more money to the rich. I know Vitalik didn't had a lot of choice words to say for it, but it is. I didn't really like it. Joel says, Larry, you think the guy behind the mortgage crisis has no clue? He's got enough of a clue to be a CEO of a 10 trillion asset under management company. Maybe he's brain dead. I don't know, but seems to be a lot of people seem to like what he's doing. But so did Bernie Madoff. A lot of his customers love what he did until the end. So yes, I'm pumping bit. It's just me. If the crypto is going up, it's only because of this show. Nothing else. What do you think of MinSwap? I hope they have a better time than Sunday Swap. That's all I can say. Yeah, everybody check out Scott Melker's Wolf of Wall Street podcast with Raoul Pal and Stanley Bush. When is Raoul Pal not bullish? That guy's like a permabull. And maybe I'm just too negative. Let's see. What do you think, Dave Bacon? What do you think about a Bitcoin yield ETF paying 12% monthly? Let me know what it is, and I'll take a look at it. That's what I think. Question number 2. Let's see. Adrian says a majority of the airdrop tokens have been sold already. Sounds like you should do some due diligence before comparing Ape to Doge. So, Adrian, you're welcome to spout off, but how many were actually delivered? I think it was over 10,000 tokens for the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think it was 2,300 for the Mutants. I don't think they were all sold all together. On top of that, where was everything else done? I guess it would be. So, yes, I'm going to compare Ape to Doge. That's the second channel, Rob. Pod Promise Crypto. Rao is a great salesman. And not to take anything away from him, but he is extremely bullish. And I think that's what some people need. To me, in the short run, I see next, like we did a video yesterday about the different months. I think next month will probably be a pretty decent one. Historically, April is a pretty great month. And then things start to kind of get a little wonky in May. And then June, July, August, September, not so great. And then back to October. That's just historically. Does it mean it's going to happen identically? No. See 4-year cycles. And that's what I was talking about. Didn't work out. And you know what? I shouldn't have been so harsh. I think I know why people get so ticked off at me when I say something negative about their project. I get it. It's because you probably own it. You probably own it, and you probably own a lot of it. And of course, you want it to go up. So if somebody like me talks about it negatively, you're like, damn it, shut up, because I want that project to go up. And I don't want you talking about it. And you have to take a look at everything before you say anything about it. I get it. I got it. For me personally, I'm not going to buy it. That's all I can tell you. Great question. Question number 4. How do you cover your family with medical insurance in Puerto Rico? First of all, it's very inexpensive. I use SSS, and it's not much at all. So, and just me and my wife. So the kids are all gone. So it's very cheap, actually. The problem here, though, is that we have minimal doctors here in Puerto Rico. There's a big brain drain, and they just move to the States. And I was talking to an agent, and who will remain nameless, and he said that he's seen letters from different hospitals in the States, people who are doctors here, trying to pull them away, offering them a ridiculous amount of money and perks. And hey, they take it. Off they go. Hey, Rob, buen dia. Question, do you agree with Bitcoin family plus Willie was ideas about super cycles being in as a scenario with the highest possibility to happen? Do you agree with Bitcoin? Who knows? I mean, maybe it's a super cycle. It doesn't feel like a super cycle, that's for sure. Super cycles mean essentially that 4-year cycles are done, as far as I understand it. And that just means that we're just going to, like, there's been other people who talk about a commodity super cycle going on all the way crazy, hyperbolic. Things like copper, silver, gold, those types of things. And I mean, maybe. I mean, we can kind of see it. I don't think it would have worked out as well if we didn't have the supply chain issue. So as far as like this for a super cycle, sure. I don't know. But the only thing I can tell you is that everybody has a good guesstimation about what's going on, but it's just an educated guess. Some more educated than others. And for this one, I mean, it could work out and we can go all the way up. So it depends on what your goals are. Like, I don't really intend to sell Bitcoin or crypto too much anytime soon in the future. I will sell things along the way, but if it goes up, sure. I'd have to take a look at why they think that. Willie Woo talks a lot of different things, and that's about it. Let's see. And then last question. I'm in my 50s with a small limited budget. Is it too late for me to build wealth in crypto? No, I don't think so. I mean, look, it's my 40s when I started. Then it's just fine. And I mean, look, I think the worst time to start investing is never. I mean, you can put your money in the bank. But what does that do for you? A CD will get you like a nice ripping 0.0125%, I guess. So, I mean, really, like, what are the options these days? Start your own business. I mean, statistically, first 3 years, you got 50% of those fail. You get into real estate. Right now, it's super high. You get into the traditional markets, as far as stocks, things like that. But it seems like they kind of peaked out not too long ago. Now they're in like a little bit of rebound phase, maybe. And then there's crypto. So, I mean, really, in all honesty, what's the options these days? And this is what I was talking to with Max, video we did with about millennials. He's like, where else are you going to put your money? And it was a sobering statement, that's for truth. So, all right. So look, that's it for today. So like about 30 minutes or so. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. That's and then tell me why in the comment section. Tell me just how awful it was, and consider subscribing. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.